But what I'm getting down to now is I'd like to sing you a little song out of one of those pictures. It was out of Bell-Bottom George, and it's called Swim Little Fish, and it's all about Egbert. This is Egbert here. Now, I'm Egbert's father, you see, and he's going out into the world for the first time, and I'm going to tell him all the little things he's got to get ready for. Egbert. Now, once upon a time, there was a little fish, and he lived in a long, long stream. And to make his way to the great wide world was this little fish's dream. But a wise old trout who'd been about advised him what to do. He said fish's wishes won't come true if they dream the whole day through. So swim, little fish, swim on. Swim, little fish, swim on. We're two ambitious fishes, you and I, but we'll get our wishes if we try. So swim, little fish, swim on. Swim, little fish, swim on. Blow little bubbles all the long day through, and show little troubles that they can't stop you. 'Cause everything in life worthwhile is hard to get, my friend. So don't give up and don't give in, it's worthwhile in the end. So swim, little fish, swim on. Swim, little fish, swim on. Swim, little fella, till your dreams come true, and you'll get the very little fish for you. You can be happy if you swim, 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 little fish, swim on. Now swim, little fish, swim on. Swim, little fish, swim on. If you are weary at the river mouth, ask for a lift upon the next wave south. So swim, little fish, swim on. Swim, little fish, swim on. Be very careful and you'll find it pays. Mind how you cross the gulf and look both ways. A chap can get a good square meal and all that he could wish. Now the wise fish goes to smoky rolls, a good pull-in for fish. So swim, little fish, swim on. Swim, little fish, swim on. Always remember mother's good advice. Steer clear of fishes who are not quite nice. Do nothing fishy, fishy, swim, 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 little fish, swim on. Hey! Well, I carried on making pictures, you know, right the way through the 30s, and then along came 1939, and as you know, we had a bit of bother with a fella called Hitler. Well, I, like everybody else, I was called up and I went to take my medical. That was the biggest laugh I ever got in my life. When I stripped off, I never knew I had flat feet. And the doctor looked at me, and he gave me a shilling, and he gave me a card which said grade 4. I didn't even get in the first 3. And he said, you better go entertaining troops. So I went over every war front. I took Beryl with me, of course, and we went everywhere. Well, when I wasn't entertaining troops and making pictures, I was a home guard. I joined the home guard as a dispatch rider. Well, the funny part about it, my postman was always a dispatch rider as well, in the same unit, and he was a corporal. Now, through the week, he used to deliver the letters and say, good morning, sir, your letters. On a Sunday, he was the gaffer. I didn't like that. And our CO was the boss of a gentleman's outfitters in Blackpool, you see. So I went down, I said, hey, will you make me a uniform of officer's material? He said, yes. And I said, when you finish, will you put a couple of stripes on the sleeve for me? Well, he thought it was funny, but he put the stripes on, and the next Sunday morning I turned up as a fully fledged corporal dispatch rider. I bet I'm the only fellow that promoted myself. But that brings me to the next song, you see. Being in the Home Guard, I thought, well, this is a good idea for a song. So I wrote a song about the Home Guard. Now beholding me, an LDV, for battle I'm just yearning, doing my best like all the rest to keep the home fires burning. Each evening a stiffer starts, up and down the street I march. I'm guarding the home of the home guard, I'm guarding the home guard's home. All night long, steady and strong, doing what I'm told and I can't go wrong. All the ladies I salute, but one old dame was very cute. She wanted to see me parachute while guarding the home guard home. When I shout halt, they shout all stop. If they don't stand just like a rock, they get it where the monkey got the clock while guarding the home guard home. I'm guarding the home of the home guards, I'm guarding the home guard's home. All night long, steady and strong, doing what I'm told and I can't go wrong. One evening as an LDV, some German soldiers I did see. They ran like hell but they couldn't catch me, guarding the home guard home. Our sergeant nearly had a fit, he found my rifle full of grit. I told him what to do with it while guarding the home guard home. Rule Britannia, you've never any need to roam while I'm guarding the home guard home. Well, now folks, I'd like to be serious for a minute if you don't mind. I've got a confession to make. When I was 7, I never went to school from then onwards. Nobody's fault, only my own. And it was a great handicap because I never learnt to read and write properly, you see. And the only bit of reading and writing I can do is what I picked up myself later on. I'm still a lousy speller, by the way. But that's where Beryl came in, you see. She used to do all my business for me. Because I went away to the stables when I was 7 to become a jockey. And I went down to Bishop Canning's. At the age of 10, I had my first mount in a race. I don't know whether it's a record, but I don't know of anybody that's ridden younger than that. In 1915, the First World War broke out and it stopped racing in England. So the trainer I was with, we went out to Ireland and I rode there for 5 seasons till 1919. Then I came back to Newmarket and became apprentice jockey riding for Lord Derby. In 1920 I went up to Malton and had my last mount in a race on a course Old Chris. And there was me, old at 16. Well, just then, at that time, my dad collapsed and died in pantomime at Newcastle. Well, that was very awkward and a very sad blow. Because actually, he was going to retire, start a training stable, and I was going to train horses. But fate stepped in and it wasn't to be. So they said to me, well, what are you going to do now? I said, well, I'm not going back to the racing business, I'm too heavy. They said, why don't you go on the stage? I said, what the hell could I do on the stage? They said, well, you don't know till you try. Anyway, I learnt 2 songs off the records, 2 of my dad's songs, and a friend of his called Fred Harrison, he gave me a week's work at the place called the Hippodrome Earlstown. It's a little tin hut near Newton-le-Willers. And Newton-le-Willers is near Wigan, by the way. Wigan's in Lancashire. Well, anyway, I didn't go as George Formby. I took my mother's maiden name, Hoy, because my dad's name was always been top of the bill, and I knew I wouldn't be top of the bill the first time. It'd be like that. And I didn't want the name of Formby to be small. I said, I'll use Formby when I top bills myself. And I was lucky enough to do that. Well, at the end of the week, I got £5. And then I got what was known in those days as a moss tour. That was one of the big halls, and I worked in this very theatre. I was first turn, 3 minutes, died the death of a dog. Oh yes, it's truth night tonight. And at the end of the moss tour, I didn't get any more work. Of course, they give me that for sympathy out of my dad, you see. Well, I was out of work for 3 months, and nearly starved. Then I went to what is known as an if it show. You know, if it comes in, you get it. If it doesn't, you don't. Well, we ran 5 weeks and we finished up in West Hartlepool. Then I had a few pals in a show called the Swanee Minstrels, and they said they were going to Castleford. And would I go with them for a week? Said, we'll give you £5. Well, that was a lot of money for me then.